I've said that I think Messi is better than Ronaldo. People think I don't like Cristiano. To be honest, over the last couple of years, I'm thinking, you know what? He's probably going to be the one when you look back.
Wayne Rooney, one of the greatest footballers of my generation. I've known him since he was 17 years old, and it's fair to say that we've been through some highs and lows together.
Yeah, it was scary.
Wayne Rooney scared?
I was in the Old Edge Hotel for a while, then we rented a house. You've seen the rented house.
I see the state of it. And it was almost like, I became almost like your security from behind you. Because I heard someone shout, once a blue, always a blue.
And although we shared a dressing room for all those years, I learned loads more about my mate.
I used to pick him up from his house and take him to the airport for Champions League games, and he just grunted. I was struggling massively.
With what?
With alcohol. Massively struggling. I didn't think I could turn to anyone.
I wish I knew more about that as a teammate.
I just love sitting down with footballers to show you just what they're really like.
Well, I honestly believe if she went dead, I'd be dead.
Wow.
I love going home after a game and watching EastEnders. I love that moment, that feeling where you sat there, you're watching TV, you're comfortable, you're in a safe place.
It's weird, because I would always say you're confident.
So I'll walk around, I'm at 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
So make time, watch this episode, and see Wayne Rooney in a way you've never ever seen him before.
Morning. You alright? How you doing? You alright?
You good?
All good. Got your coffee? Look. Service.
Doesn't look great, does it?
Do you know, it might be a bit too much water. Do you want me to pour a bit out for you?
Yeah, no, it's okay. I'm not diva, mate.
You're not a diva? Oh. How you doing?
Good.
So what was I always want to speak to you because you're obviously a striker, and I always, when you talk about players, you give a good kind of understanding. You're a striker. Who do you watch today when you watch football and think, I love watching that striker?
I do like watching Haaland, but also frustrates me as well. I think his movement, if you watch his movement in the 6-yard box, it's incredible.
Yeah.
But then you just want a little bit more from, and then...
In what sense? What do you want a bit more of?
I want to be more commanding. Like, you look at the size of him, like, physicality, he's like a beast, and just want to like go and bully centre-backs, you know what I mean? That makes sense. He had that little scuffle, didn't he, with Godfrey.
Oh, God, yeah, Godfrey, yeah.
At Everton, and I want to see a little bit more like, more than just dominate the centre-back. But then the game's changed. The game's different. The number 9s are not the main man. If you look around world football, just say we stay in the Premier League, there's Cole Palmer, there's Saka, there's Salah. The best players, the game changers, come from the sides. So the forward really is just there to occupy defenders. There's no Mateta. I like Mateta.
At Palace.
Yeah. I think
you said that to me. You said that in the WhatsApp group, didn't you, before?
Yeah, I just think he's clumsy. He doesn't look great on the eye, but he occupies defenders. He makes it a difficult game for defenders to try and deal with him, and that allows the other players to come into little spaces. So I like him, but other than that, there's number 9 to going off the game.
Did you just to go back to Harry Kane? What's your thoughts on him? And obviously, he broke your record for England, but he's a bit similar to you. He's a number 9, but he can also drop in and play.
I think he's developed that over the last few years. He's developed, and he's a clever lad, Harry, and he knows he's never been the quickest, but I think he's lost a little bit of sharpness. Now he scored, how many goals he scored last season for Bayern? He's a goal scorer. He's clinical, but he's clever in terms of the positions he's picking up, and it's allowing. I watched Bayern Munich in the Club World Cup, and then it was almost like Totti for Roma, where you drop in and then there's runners off him, but gradually as the ball got further forward and they might come back out and went back around the other side, he then makes his way in the box. So it's not a sprint, but he's in there and he's in the round there, and if he gets a chance, he scores. For me, he's the greatest ever England number 9.
Is he?
Yeah. For me, I think.
You'd put him as a better player than you?
Player, I'm not sure. I think I could do things which potentially he couldn't. I was nastier than him as well. But in terms of goal scorer, he creates goals. You watching people say like, "Oh, he scored against San Marino or this team," or he scores every game. And does he play well all the time? No. But for me, he's above everyone.
You mentioned you were nastier. Does he need to be nastier? What would that give him?
It gives you that edge. There's probably a reason he stayed at Tottenham for so long.
With that edge, he probably doesn't stay there that long.
Yeah, and you want to come out of your comfort zone. You want to go and try a different club to try and be successful. I'm delighted he's obviously won the league in Germany, but just that little switch. I think
I love him, because I think his journey is what I love about him as well. It wasn't easy for him. It wasn't a conventional a journey like yours, where always knew he was going to be a superstar. He's had to graft, go on loans that didn't work out, and eventually got to the top. And I always liken him to a golfer swing, perfect. He's honed his craft. He looks like one of those guys who spent hours and hours and hours doing that. So all the rewards that he's got, I think he's fully deserved as well.
Yeah, 100%. And he's obviously I played with him for a period of time. And
what was it like playing with him?
Sometimes like he's shooting, like, what are you doing? Why are you shooting from there? But he keeps doing it. But like Ronnie keeps doing it, and you get your rewards. But he's got everything. It's just that little
devilment, isn't it?
Yeah, that little like Cantona or myself at times, or just like gonna be horrible.
He got criticised, didn't he, at the last tournament? Would you start him for England at the World Cup?
100%.
Yeah.
He has to start. Has to. If you look at every England game,
he scores, doesn't he? He just scores, doesn't he?
He scores. It's the hardest job to do. It's the hardest thing to do. And you look what's behind him. You've got Ollie Watkins, Ivan Toney, I don't know. Solanke. So if you could honestly sit here and say, would you start any of them ahead of Harry Kane?
No.
And he scores, and people say, like, does he, a bit like Ronaldo when he went back to Man United, what's the impact on the team? He works hard, Harry. He's not going to go and sprint around all the place, but
he's never done that.
You've got Bellingham, you've got these players with energy and fight and whatever to go and do that. And just put him around the penalty box. He scores goals.
It's true. That's what you want number 9 to do, don't you? You score goals. I want to move on. We went out for a bit of food last night, and I think one of the interesting things we spoke about was a young Scouser going to Man United. What was that like for you? Just take us back to the feelings that you had, and some of the things that you was nervous about.
Yeah, it was scary.
When you were scared?
I was a typical Scouser. Everything I'd done was a proud Scouser, was for the city, for Everton. And then all of a sudden, I'm signed for Man United. Like, what's going on here? I got absolutely pelted. Parents' house got spray painted. Coleen's parents' house got spray painted. There was death threats. And then I went to Manchester. Me and Coleen had just bought a house in Formby. We were in for about 6 months, and then we moved to Manchester. We was in the Old Edge Hotel for a while. Then we rented a house. You've seen the rented house.
I'll see the state of it.
And then obviously in that time we were building a house and moved, and we've been there ever since.
Wow.
So for a young Scouse lad to go to Manchester, the first thing, people from Manchester and people from Liverpool are very similar. It's like almost identical. And that's why I think there is a rivalry, because they're so similar in how they walk, how they talk, how they hold themselves. The attitude is very similar. And so for me to go to Manchester, yeah, it was tough. And I knew first game, walking out as a Scouser, I need to make an impact.
I remember when you first signed, we went to a club. It might have been Tiger.
I've never been to a club.
No. we went once, it was only once. But no, we went to a club, we walked through, and it was almost like, I became almost like your security from behind you. Because I heard someone shout, once a blue, always a blue. And by the time I turned round to look at you, you had your shirt off. And that was you then, that encapsulated who you was, angry, young man.
I was horrible. I was horrible. And To be around, like, you've seen it for my teammates. What was you then at the time? 24?
24, yeah.
Something like that. So I put you in a position, I put your teammates in a position because I had issues I couldn't control it. I couldn't control someone saying something, someone looking in a different way, and it was a big deal.
Did you need to be like that though to be the player you were? Because I think that anger was a big part of your not only makeup as a person, but also as part of your on-field persona as well. Which I thought at times made you.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I was young. So I was young. I come from a council estate, Croxteth in Liverpool. I felt like I had to have that desire within me. I couldn't come down from that. So I had to against Fenerbahce. I'm here. And then when you go home I couldn't come down from that.
I talked about this on a podcast before where you brush our most decorated player, Ryan Giggs, aside, take the free kick, score a hat-trick. That is like ridiculous. That's like you're on the top of the mountain there. How does, as a young 18-year-old kid, manage to keep his feet on the ground and come back down to normality?
I love the small things in life. I love going home after a game and watching EastEnders and Coronation Street. And I don't really like him though. But Britain's Got Talent or...
You love them reality shows, isn't it?
I'll go home after a game, done it as a player, as a manager the same, have a glass of wine and watch TV. And for me, that is... Coleen always says to me, he says, you come home, you just want to sit down and watch TV. But for me, that's like, I love that moment, that feeling where you sat there, you're watching TV, you're comfortable, you're in a safe place. For me, that's like...
Yeah, because your life is 100 miles an hour when you walk out your door.
And the minute I go outside my gates, for instance, not now, when I was a player, there's paparazzi everywhere and it was horrible. It takes so much energy out here, thinking how much planning you had to put in place to go to Tesco.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? Yeah.
And it's something we found, and every time we go to Tesco or go and get petrol, every single time we went, there was a photographer there. Like, how's he here? Like, you're looking in your mirrors, you didn't see him follow him. So I got the police round to the house and they put a tracker underneath the car.
The media?
Yeah.
Wow. Stressing it.
Even now, like, so I drive 20 minutes out the way to get a coffee because I don't want to go to this one, which is 5 minutes away, because every single time, Coleen gets it all the time and she'll just go. But I'll walk out as a photographer. I'm like, nearly a 40-year-old man going to get a coffee. What are you doing? It's like, it doesn't make sense.
It comes with it, it's territory.
It's like, get it. I've done documentaries and put myself out there in different situations. And if I'm falling out of a nightclub and the thing pictures, of course I understand that, I get it. But going to your local village to get a coffee.
Everyday life.
Like, what are you doing?
Who would be the guy, who would you go to help you settle in when you went to United?
I think different people for different reasons. You were really important. I think for all young players, you gravitate to young players who come through, myself and any younger players after me. You used to always gravitate to them. Wes was really good for me, just without knowing. He didn't even know that. He was helping me in different ways. Shazy, Carras comes in. Carras is Mr. Sensible, and if you're ever going on a night out, if you say you were Michael Carrick, that's fine. Yeah,
and he's one of the best drinkers as well.
Yeah, you say Michael Carrick, then no problem. Whatever. So that little group we had, I think everyone, yourself, Carras, Shazy, Wes, everyone in different ways, helped in different ways, and I hope that I was helping you lot in different ways as well. And then I felt we formed like a little group, and like when you had Giggsy, Gaznev, Scholesy, Roy, for a small period of time when I was there, they were like the dons above us. And then you could see what was happening naturally. They were going to go and we'd fill that void. And the problem was there was no one behind us. So loads of help from different people, from members of staff, who don't even know. It was such a family place to go and happy place to go. you didn't think of anything. Just you're going in, you're gonna have nice food, you're gonna be with nice people, you're gonna go and do your training, go and prepare for the game.
I always say that when people talk to me about Man United, I always do say that like it was.
I remember you used to go to the barbecues and what's her name?
Carol.
Kitchen in Carol's back garden and stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. It's
a small club mentality, wasn't it?
It's priceless.
Yeah, it was almost like a massive club, but it felt like a small club because everybody was so tight knit, the staff, players, etc.
Yeah, and I think from the outside it looks like that's gone a little bit. But you used to love going in every day.
No, 100%. Talking about love going in, you must have loved going in around the 2008 era with the players like Ronaldo, Tevez, yourself, that front three, Luis Zaha in and around it, a little bit after that Berbatov. Talk me through that front three, especially you, Ronaldo, Tevez, because everyone talks about that as one of the best ever. What do you think about immediately when you get mentioned in? When I mentioned that front
Ronaldo
three?
and Tevez?
Yeah.
Ruthless. Fight. Ronaldo, people say Ronaldo didn't, but Ronaldo used to work, and people think I hate him. I love him. I think he's an absolute genius, and what he's doing is incredible. I love Cristiano and play with him. I mean, I don't think people realise actually how close me and him were.
Yeah, you were like two, thick as thieves together.
So, and I think just because I've said that I think Messi is better than Ronaldo, people think I don't like Cristiano. I think what he's doing. And to be honest, over the last couple of years, I'm thinking, you know what? He's probably going to be the one when you look back, Cristiano, because he keeps going. I think his last 3 seasons, he's top goal scorer in Saudi, whatever. I absolutely love Messi, love watching him play, and that was the only reason, because I think Messi had a little bit more in terms of how he played and taking players on and whatever. Ronaldo's a killer, and people think because I've said Messi is better than Ronaldo, I don't like him or I speak down on him.
You said you preferred the way Messi played.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah.
And you might prefer Cristiano. This person might prefer Messi or Ronaldo. No, but I don't think you can argue with any of them two. I just like the little flair about Messi, and that's it. Ronaldo, Cristiano is an absolute genius in what he's doing, and he's just turned 40. What he's doing is incredible, and so I take my hat off to him and think, you know what, fair play, and I couldn't speak a bad word about him.
What was, because the three of you, Tevez, Rooney and Ronaldo, when I think about that, it takes me back to when I was a player. It was like, we just keep a clean sheet, them three will terrorise. That's how I used to think. Did you feel a bit immortal around that time, like unbeatable, unplayable?
No, not immortal, but
as a three?
Just felt that we'd score. Like, if I had a bad game, one of them two would score, and Berber comes into that as well. If someone had a bad game, one of us would do something and create a bit of magic and win the game. And
why did it work so well though?
We were all flexible. So it weren't you're number 9, you're off the left, you're off the right, or you're number 10. There was a rotation which, we didn't work on it. We didn't go on the training pitch and say, right, if he goes there, you come here. It was understanding and just a natural rotation. And the only thing which the manager would say to us is, if they win the ball back, if you end up towards the left, you cover as a left winger. If you end up towards the right, you cover as a right winger. And so there's a freedom of just playing and an enjoyment and to try things and not be afraid to give the ball away or to miss the target. And I think, and a work ethic. I think more so from me and Carlos. I used to think, I think now, imagine coming up against me and Carlos.
Oh, mate.
Where technically and we can score goals, but
that's a long day.
Like two horrible, like just ratting and leaving the foot in and tackling.
Two horrible big rats chasing you down every time you got the ball.
I always think that now, and it's mad because football's gone away from two forwards.
Yeah. When
Carlos signed, there was loads in the media saying that me and him can't play together. We're too similar. And he's the player I've enjoyed most playing with as a forward.
In your career?
Yeah.
Is it?
Loved it. And I could be a 9.
Did you ever talk? Because he didn't communicate really, other than with Pat and Jason Parker. Did you ever sit down and go to him, "Right, listen, Carlos, you do this, and when I do that, you do it"? Was there nothing like that? He just natural.
I used to pick him up from his house and see him in the airport for Champions League games, and he just grunted. It was like, but he understood a lot more than I think what people thought. And your communication is your eyes.
Yeah.
That was your communication. You don't have to talk. You can look at someone. I used to do it with Michael Carrick all the time. And
just talking about that front three, and obviously Cristiano in particular. When did you look at it and think, I'm gonna have to sacrifice for Cristiano probably, because he's moving to a level of like Ballon d'Or status? When did you go, okay?
I never, not once, I look at it and think I need to sacrifice.
It looked like that though, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It did look like it felt like that at times. But I want to win. I want to win the Premier League. I want to win the Champions League. And I think that was a big difference. Cristiano has got something in his brain which I don't think anyone's got. He's got this mindset and mentality which is way beyond anything I've seen in football. Where I've got a mindset and a mentality which is not to that level, but it's that level where I want to win. I've never cared about Ballon d'Ors or winning individual trophies. For me, that's nothing. I couldn't care less on that. I want to win. I want to win with you. I want to win with my teammates, Premier League, Champions Leagues. That's what.
And if that meant you going to the left
football's about,
in the Champions League final, you'd do it.
Cristiano had, of course, he wanted to win all that with the team, but he had this selfish mentality where he wanted everything. I didn't have that. So there's a difference in mindset from that point of view, and I wanted to live my life as well. I wanted to go out and enjoy my time with my friends and have a night out, and it got to a point where I went too far. Of course, it didn't. That was a moment in my life where I was struggling massively.
With what?
With alcohol, massively struggling, and I didn't think I could turn to anyone. I didn't really want to, because I didn't want to put that burden on it. I remember
we talked about this, didn't we?
I remember going into training and putting eye drops in, chewing gum, and
whole bottle of aftershave on.
I just drank for 2 days straight.
What, and come training?
Come training, and at the weekend I'd score 2 goals, and then I'd go back and go and drink for 2 days straight again.
Who helped you out of that and dealing with that in that time?
Coleen is massive. It's bad because we're 2 kids from Croxteth, and then we grew up together, and obviously we started dating and we got married, have kids. But when I was from 17, she could see, she knew my mindset. She knew I was a bit out there. I would, love me football, obsessed with football, but also I loved a night out or whatever, going out. And she seen it very early on, and she's controlled that. Well, not controlled, but helped me control that massively. And at times, you're like, what are you doing? Like, why do you keep saying, don't do this or don't that? Whatever. But how she's managed me, because I need to manage him.
Is that important for a footballer? There's a lot of players watch this podcast, and it'd be interesting to hear your take on it. How important a wife, a partner is for a career in the game.
Well, I honestly believe if she went dead, I'd be dead.
Wow.
I believe that. And what she's done, how she, and it's annoying at times, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, and you get annoyed, and but everything she's doing is to keep me here and keep me
to be the best player
on this road and the best person. And yeah, I've made mistakes in the past which are well documented, whatever. But I'm a little bit different at times, and she keeps me on that path, and she's done it for 20 odd years.
It's mad because I talked about on the Mount Rushmore of strikers in the Premier League on my podcast the other day about you being a genius and having crazy IQ, and sometimes the perception might be different out off the pitch. Do you think that's unfair? Because I see you and you surprise me so often with how it kind of eclectic the way your mind thinks about things.
There was a big campaign of this guy can't read, he can't write, he can't do this and whatever, he's thick. And then sometimes you start thinking, am I? Do you know what I mean? And I think what people don't know, I was saying this to you last night, weren't I? I've studied myself on many different things over the last 20 years. In terms of knowledge, well, no, I'm very educated. And I feel I could hold the room with anyone in terms of whether that's Black history, whether that's religion.
You were talking about the pharaohs last night over dinner. Do you know what I mean? It's like I was sitting there going, how the hell do you know about all this?
Wherever it is, and you see it, someone will say something like, where's that come from? Because I've tried to create a book of knowledge in my head where if I'm in a position with a player from Africa, for instance, I want to understand his background and understand what makes him tick, and or with a player from Greece or whatever. I think it's really important that you've got that knowledge and you understand, so you can put yourself in that player's shoes or that person's shoes.
Has the way people perceive you ever like hurt you personally? Do you just sit there and go, you know what, actually, I don't like that?
Yeah, all the times. All the times.
Because you're human. Like people think because you're this big macho number 10 at Man United, captain of your country.
I'm actually very insecure on quite a lot of things, and I have been my whole career over my weight. Being insecure now and over how you look.
It's weird, but you're confident. It's weird because I would always say you're confident.
So I'll walk around. I'm at 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah. All right.
Because there's different attributes which you can have, and you might look incredible, but then how do you
communicate?
How do you hold yourself? So I'm at 8.5, 100%. But also still very insecure because I want to be a 9.
That's mad. I don't think a 9's coming. If you're an 8.5.
The 9's not going to be. I'm going down, mate. If I ever do get to 8.5, then I'll be delighted.
Oh,
but no, I am actually really insecure over a lot of things, and Coleen knows this. If you ever see me on the beach next week, I won't say where, we're in the same place.
Yeah.
I've got my t-shirt on, I've got a cap on. But even when I was in the best shape I was in as a football player, I wouldn't take my top off.
Yeah, I don't remember. That never even occurred to me. And
I was strong, I was powerful. Yeah. I've never had abs and stuff, but...
You were strong, man.
Powerful. Yeah. I'd probably a body which... Probably actually the best body you need to be a footballer.
Yeah, you never injured. It was robust. Yeah. You were strong, powerful.
But I was always thinking what people... There was one thing which happened years ago with me and my mum and dad. And it was Jonathan Ross put a picture of me mum and dad coming out the sea. And still to this day, I still think about that because I think, you know what, whatever you want to say about me, say it. But why would you attack me parents? I don't get it. And it happened with...
the one on the beach?
Yeah. And I just don't get it, I don't understand it. For my mum's a dinner lady. She was my dinner lady, she's still the dinner lady in the school I went to this day.
Wow.
Why is she getting judged So, and there's stuff like that when Coleen's walking around the beach in a bikini, and I just don't get it. I don't understand. And they tell me I can't take a picture of my son in the park. Do you know what I mean? It's mad. It is mad. So I've always had like a real insecurity of my image.
It's weird because, you know, I never, like, until now, I would never have said that. I'll never have said that. You obviously, Wayne Rooney's like done everything he done as a player, built up as a superhero. And it goes back to that old thing. I've been guilty of it, where you don't really talk about your emotions that are going to reflect you in our own minds that might be negative, or that someone's going to see you vulnerable, or you're not going to be as macho as people might think. And it's just built in men, I think, not to talk as much.
Yeah, it is, and I talk all the time. So
non-stop.
I don't stop talking, and but I think there's a time to be serious, and then.
I wish I knew more about that as a teammate. Do you know what I mean? So I could have spoke to you and.
Yeah, of course, but then also, like what you went through. As I know, not just me, the other players are thinking, like, why didn't we do more to allow you to come and talk to us? If that makes sense. So it's mad. It's weird. You're out in a bubble, aren't you? You're in there and you're meant to be this macho guy who's going and playing football and being successful, but a lot of the time you're vulnerable.
Is that something you've taken into management? When you go into management, where you wanted to make it an environment where people could talk, you would physically go out of your way to make people feel comfortable. Is that what you put in place, given your experience?
What's really important, and this is, in my opinion, Alex Ferguson's greatest strength, where he just brought everyone together. And what I actually done with every football club I went to was create an unbelievable environment. I just couldn't get a good team.
Why is that then? We're on it now. Why couldn't you create a good team? Because all these things add up, don't they? The environment that you're trying to create for the team to produce the best performance and to be consistently good. Why couldn't you get a team in that shape?
Oh, you could, but I think I took very difficult jobs. Obviously, I was at Derby, and then I went in as manager, and then we're in administration. Then I went out to the US and managed DC United, which people actually talk about that as if it was a big failure. DC United finished bottom of 3 seasons before I went in, and then we missed out on playoffs by a point. And then when I left, we went back to the bottom, and people don't talk about that. Then I went to Birmingham, which was an absolute car crash from day one, to be honest. The fans never said that. I remember we played Middlesbrough away in the first game. We lost 1-0 in like the 90th minute. And we played Hull at home. I remember walked out, and my first game at St Andrews, and I'm stood there, and the players are shaking hands, and there was a Birmingham fan behind me. Get back to America, you fat cunt. I turned around, I was laughing, I was like...
A home fan, one of your fans?
Like,
wow.
I'll give it a chance. And so that was just never right. At the time of when I went in, it was just never, it weren't a good fit. And then obviously I went into Plymouth. And some of the football we played at Plymouth was unbelievable. It was incredible, but it's a level of consistency which I'm not going to sit here and go with players or whatever. But that level of consistency where you need to move forward and progress and try and make playoffs or whatever, we didn't have that. And sometimes there's actually not much the manager can actually do on that. Because every training session we give them, it was consistent, it was the right messages, training session was really good. And then I was shocked in some of the games. What I was seeing, Sheffield Wednesday, first game of the season, and I put that on me. I played four players who come in from Europe, first ever game in the Championship at Hillsborough. It was a big atmosphere.
A tough place to go.
I put that on me, but then there was games like we played Cardiff away, Bristol away, where I didn't recognise the team.
Just to start change from training,
Yeah, and,
looking good in training and then not producing.
You're there thinking, what is going on here?
Mm.
This is not what we've trained on. And then at that point, you're like...
But that's why I always talk about it. Like, what's the motivation to become a manager and then having to go down the leagues to kind of prove yourself? Because you're not used to that environment. You're used to playing high performance, consistently challenging to win things with players who consistently churn out good performances, match-winning performances. To go and manage a group of players, no disrespect, at lower levels who aren't built to do that, don't know that.
I'm from Croxteth.
Yeah.
So my whole life was trying to be a football player and be in football, and I know what hardship is. I know what it means and what it takes to fight, and I know I'm not stupid. I know there's players similar to me as stature who would never go anywhere near them jobs because the exact same thing has happened.
Yeah, listen, I'll make it right. It's like,
and then they've obviously got better jobs and more budget and better players. And I think I've always gone in and had the confidence and belief that I could turn around, and that hasn't happened. And I hold my hands up to that and say, okay, but I'm willing to go and do that and go and try, and knowing that there's a big possibility that it could fail.
Is proving people wrong a big part of that for you?
I don't care. I don't care about, as I said before, I am really insecure, but proving people wrong, I don't care.
It's just internal motivation.
Yeah, I like what me, as a player, what my coaches and teammates would think, of course, that's what I care about. And now I'm not in football, to obviously bits of media and stuff, and I care what my wife, my children say. Anyone else? Why would I allow someone who would only know to put me down?
True.
Do you know what I mean? And I completely understand that's not everyone. Everyone can't do that, and what people say. I seen it this year with Phil Foden, where he told United fans singing about his mother. I've had that every game for 25 years. No one writes about that in the media. No one says, oh, do you know what, this is absolutely disgusting. His children, and his wife's there. So I've had to deal with that when I'm on the pitch, when I'm on the touchline. But I think there's a perception, there's things which people say, there's things which people do, which for whatever reason with me gets pushed under.
Yeah, because you're Wayne Rooney.
But it gets pushed under the carpet.
Not rightly so. I'm not saying it's right.
No one wants to write how disgusting this is, because Wayne Rooney's seven-year-old son is in the crowd, and he's getting abused every game. No one wants to write about that. I have to then go back and speak to my 7-year-old child, and my 9-year-old, and my 12-year-old, and my 15-year-old.
To help them understand.
And say, listen, I don't understand what is going on, why they're singing it. And I always think the way I look, I don't fit in. I've always thought that the way I look, I don't fit in to what a Premier League footballer should be.
Why? What do you mean?
I don't know. I've always thought.
Well, you don't look like Bex.
I don't fit into what a Premier League footballer should be. I don't go by their rules.
You don't conform.
I don't, sit there and let people talk down to me, and I am who I am, and a lot of people don't like it because if you've got a voice, your voice is powerful.
Would you have liked to have played in today's game rather than when you did?
I think I'd score a lot more goals.
Well, what makes you say that?
Defenders can't defend.
What do you?
Well, what do you think?
Yeah,
I know you were a defender, and
No, I think definitely the level of defending now is not the same standard as it was
nowhere
before.
near. You think back and you're playing against yourself and Vidic or John Terry or Carvalho. Some of these defenders were tough defenders. Sol Campbell, hard defenders to play against. And it was a fight, it was a battle. You come off, I've got scars all over my head.
Why is that though? Why?
Where now, well, have a think. I'm thinking now, when was the last time you seen a number 9 have a battle with a centre-back?
Yeah, no, it don't happen, does it? Yeah.
Like
Haaland and Gabriel maybe a little bit, but even then it's not really like...
That's handbags, isn't it? It's
when
just like
nasty.
Like going into a game and that's what picks you up. Like I'm thinking, I'm having you.
Yeah.
I'm going to do you.
Is that what you was like with?
And I know they're thinking the same thing. Where now and it's like they're all before the game they're talking with each other. After the game they're on the pitch for about an hour. After the game, like, what are you doing? Get off the pitch.
Yeah, there's like you said about Harry Kane, was talking about not having that nastiness. There don't seem to be a lot of that nastiness around, where you feel that there's an intent to really to take everything off that player or team.
When you go on the pitch, that is your job. That's your responsibility for yourself, for your teammates, for your fans. And fans aren't stupid. If you go on the pitch and you run, you work hard and you tackle and whatever, and you lose the game. And especially Man United fans, they clap you off.
That takes me to a good point, actually, a segue into like values and the change in values at the club. You was part of Man United when it was winning everything, success driven, etc. To you went into a period where that was changing, and like you said earlier, players like yourself, myself, and others were kind of leaving. What was the change in values from that when you was at the club 2008 time to when you left?
I left in 2017, and from like our group really, there was me and Michael Carrick left, and then we looked at the players behind us and we were like, who's going to lead this dressing room? Youngie was there, and but there was no group, and you had Jesse, Pogba, Rashford, fantastic players, very good footballers, but actually who's going to take your responsibility and have that, keep that soul in the dressing room? And I don't think, since me and Michael left, I don't think that's been there.
Do you think the likes of Roy Keane or yourself could have coped in a dressing room like they are today?
No.
Why not?
We get sacked. you would, and you know some of the stuff which got said in the dressing room.
Because I always talk about how me and you, we used to, we're great friends now, but the amount of arguments, how many we used to have per week.
Where now it's society as well, and you can't say this because you might upset this person. You bullying, you get accused of bullying and stuff. What happened to speaking the truth and saying, like, what are you doing? Having a go yet? Because when you used to have a go at me, I'm like, I'm not gonna let them do that again. or I'd have a go at you, and it wakes you up. It brings you alive, and it's a I have a responsibility to keep you, to keep him on the toes, and you have a responsibility. I couldn't do what I want to do on the pitch if it didn't come from you, or then Carras or Scholesy behind. It's a collective, and you have to. We used to play the army game, didn't we?
Yeah, on the computers.
And I'm convinced that helped us massively.
Yeah.
Because we've gone on a train for 2 hours to London. We're playing and non-stop. We're talking and we're communicating and
team, isn't it?
And then when you go on the pitch, it becomes easy. So I think nowadays it's too easy for someone to turn around and say, "Oh, he said this to me. You can't say this."
Listen, you're in your dressing room nowadays. Like, is that what happens? So if there's like someone digs someone out and like half gets hold of someone, or is that like Well, I'm not talking to you for 2 weeks, or is it just brushed under the carpet?
I've walked out of dressing rooms
What do you mean?
as a manager
Why?
because I'll explode. And I've seen a player call another player out, nothing bad, and like if this was hard day, it's nothing. And then I've seen another player saying, "You can't do that. If you want to speak to him, do it one-on-one. This is bullying."
No way.
And I'm stood there. I'm waiting to. So I've let them. I always let the players talk and like, encourage them to talk to each other at half time, full time, and then I'll come in and say something. And I heard that, and I just looked. I was like, "What are we going on?" So just get a shower, walked out, didn't say a word to them.
Wow.
And it's mad. It's as I said, it's society. It's you don't know what you can and can't say as well. Got to be really careful in what you try and say, how you want to say it, how you project it, what tone of your voice are you saying it in. So there's so many different things, but ultimately you want to try and get the best from that person.
Yeah, and that's it. Was like you had to. You couldn't really tiptoe around it. You ain't got time to tiptoe around it. You're in the middle of a game. You've got 10 minutes at half time to talk and to shout and to holler at each other to get a reaction, to go out there and get a result.
Imagine being in the middle of the pitch and then someone having a go at you. You've got to be aware, your head's got to be moving, you've got to be looking everywhere. And then, and this happens today. I've seen it happen. It's like, you can't say that to me. And then you come over to the touchline and you said this to me. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, you got to
like,
get with it.
When you're playing a sport which, the national sport, and there's so many fans there who are there supporting you, paying a lot of money. They expect you to be doing everything, not be walking over to the side because someone
shouted.
Has said something.
What's funny? Can you think and go, that was one of the biggest, best arguments I had on a pitch?
I always go back to Portsmouth away. This with Alex Ferguson. We come in and we're winning 1-0. I'd scored. And I remember Cristiano was here and Nani was here. And he's come in, he's just gone for me. Gone for me massively about dribbling and not passing the ball. And I'm sat there, honestly, I'm sat there. And
between the two modes,
I've looked at Cristiano, I've looked at Nani, and I'm like, you cannot be talking to me. There's no way you're aiming at me. And he's gone again. And then I've snapped. I've lost my head. And so I said some things which I shouldn't have said. It was a bit disrespectful. And the manager told me that at half time. And I went out and scored another 2, scored a hat-trick.
Best way to answer.
And then I was sat on the bus on the way home. I was still thinking, what is going on here? Why is he coming for me? And that was his skill set. He knew that was all aimed at Ronaldo. It was all aimed at Nani. And if he had done that to Cristiano, you've seen it, he would have started crying. You'd see tears, and where he's doing it to me, and I'm like jumping up and I'm like revved up, and I'm like, so that was his skill set. But I'd say that was probably the worst one. In terms of what I said, I shouldn't have said some of the things I said.
Yeah, a few swear words for anyone at home, I'm sure I was involved. But that gets me onto the 2010, the transfer request and with the manager. That's one of the things in when we've shared a dressing room, it's one of the things that I look back and go, that weren't in Wayne's nature to do that, because he was always a team first guy. And the transfer request or the statement went out, didn't it, on the morning of the game. And that's when I thought that this ain't the Wayne I know.
Yeah, so the club offered me a 5-year deal, a lot of money. I weren't pushing back on money. The deal was there. I had no issue with that. And then we sold Ronaldo, we'd sold Tevez, and I've said before, I'll say again, no disrespect to Chris Small and Phil Jones. We bring them two in. So I'm like, this is probably my biggest contract I was ever going to sign. So I wanted it to be right. I wanted to know. So I went into the manager and I was like, before, I had no issue with the contract. Before I go any further with the contract, what's the plan here? Like, who are we bringing in to replace Tevez and Ronaldo? And he went for me.
In the meeting?
Just me and him, yeah.
Wow.
He's gone for me, so I was like, no problem. Walked out, got my car, drove over to Old Trafford, and met David Gill. And I was like, there's no talking to him. Like, I think it's a legitimate question to ask, because I'm committing my next 5 years of my probably biggest 5 years of my career to the club, and I think we've got a right to. So looking back, was it right, was it wrong? I don't know. I shouldn't have questioned Alex Ferguson because everything he's done, but I still think I had a
right to ask the
right
question.
to ask
Given who's gone out the door.
Know is, are we in transition for next 2 years? Are we going to be in transition for 3 years and then start competing, or are we going to be competing now from next season? And that's really all I want to know. Then I went home. I spoke to David Gill. There was a few amendments on the contract. It was all agreed. David Gill calmed everything down. So agreed to sign it.
So what happened in the next 48 hours? Like what was going on? What persuaded you?
I signed the contract next morning.
So when you put the statement out, what was going through your head? Like, was you nervous about putting that out?
No. So I asked to leave the club a while before. So the manager come out. It was a Champions League game, and Scully done me in training, and my ankle was done. I was out for like 6 to 8 weeks. So then that was the manager's opportunity to then bring it all to the media. It's like there's no warning, there's no. And it just went, and it obviously went massive. So I'm thinking I need to protect myself a bit and try and put some understanding into why I've made this decision, and then put a statement out. Me regret on that was I put out, and it was match day, and I should never have done that. And as you said before, that's not me. It's like everything I do is for the team. Even if I'm left out the starting lineup, I won't make a fuss out going to see the manager the next day if I don't agree with it, whatever. So that was me big regret. I come in the next day and I apologised.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You came in and apologised for it, and I thought, okay, he understands. And then, obviously, you signed.
Yeah, and then signed the new deal. And but
was it ever the same with the manager
I
since
think
then?
that question I asked then in 2010, it still hasn't been addressed from 2010. And I think fans have seen that, and I think when fans look back, they'll be like, you know what, he actually seen what was coming a little bit. And I don't think it's been fixed since 2010.
Did that situation affect your relationship with the gaffer?
Yeah.
Going forward?
Me and the manager were really close, and we messed around and bantered that, and the relationship was different. I absolutely loved the man, respect him, in my opinion, the best ever, but the relationship was never the same.
Wow. And you say there that has never been addressed since 2010 when you made that, you stated that question. So in your eyes, that's like the start of the decline to where we are now.
Well, if I look back to 2010, I don't think it has. I don't think we obviously won the league in 2013, but lots changed, obviously, commercially, social media, everything's changed, but I still think when we lost Ronaldo and Tevez, from that moment, we got Robin in, obviously for a couple of years, but from that moment, the club has never had a group of forwards who you look before my time with Teddy, with Solskjaer, Coleen, Yorkie, then you've got me, Ronaldo, Tevez, Berbatov, Sahar. From that moment, the club have never had a group of forwards who can all play and come win your games, and that is Man United. Man United, you'll say different. You have your defenders, midfield players who
this is a striker talking.
No, unbelievable and keep you in games and whatever. But this group of 4 players they're going to go and win you the game. And think back to 2010, they haven't had a group of forwards where, like, if I'm playing, I'm not playing well, and you put Berbatov on the bench, put Tevez at times on the bench.
Saha.
You're like, nah, I need to play well.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're going through a bad period, sometimes it's actually alright for the manager to take it out and say, just stay away. You're not going to play like on the bench, and just take that pressure off you. And if you're not scoring, so I honestly don't think it's been addressed since then.
What is a United player? You're talking about players, and you've spoken about characteristics of players and yourselves. What is a United player? I mean, Giggsy, we had him on the show a few weeks back, and he was quite interesting. He said you have to run, be able to handle the ball, and entertain with risk, and have imagination. That's like, that absolutely applies to you, the way that your makeup is. That do you see that the same?
I don't think I could disagree with any of that. I think you have to run and wear. The one thing the manager always said, which has always stuck with me, was the hardest thing to do in life is work hard every day, and that's always stuck with me. That Man United player, you have to work, you have to be ruthless, be relentless, and you have to play with attitude. I had attitude on the pitch.
Yeah.
Not like
shirt cut.
Not in,
Rooney with the hairs coming out. That was there's an attitude about that.
I used to play with attitude, and not in a bad way, but I used to look across the tunnel and see James Collins to West Ham or Villa, where I think you can't touch me. No, but I'm using him as an example.
No disrespect
to. But I used to look across at defenders and think, what are you going to do? You can't control me.
You can't deal with me.
So I always felt I was in control of defenders, and that's attitude.
Even the John Terrys, the Sol Campbells.
Yeah, I think at times JT was always difficult. Obviously, I know the history of you and JT, but JT was always. It got easier to play against JT the more I played. The first 2-3 years when Mourinho came in, it was JT, Carvalho, McAlealy in front, Ash left back, Ivanovic just started coming. It was horrible. And I used to always look at him and think, I'll run you in the channels. But he positioned himself well. He never let me do that. But then the more it went on, I started to understand his faults. A big fault for JT and for all Chelsea players is, as soon as the ball went wide, they just dropped. They just drop on the goal line. So all you have to do is just stop running.
Stand still.
Just stop running, they put the ball back and they're all on the goal line. So you start then to understand little traits with what they've got and try and counteract it.
I just want to, this is the last topic before we finish. Just wanted to, if you don't mind touching on it, is Kai, your son. He's a budding young player now. He's trying to start a career in the game. He's 15 years old now. I think he's going to be under 16s next year. What's it like for you as a parent now trying to bring up a young kid who wants to be a footballer? And what are you doing to help him?
Just talk to him.
It's funny because you said last night over dinner, I found him really interesting. In a world of where stepovers and skills is the big marketable thing, it's on social media. You said you're saying to him, I don't want to see any of those skills. I want to see end product and running.
If you're doing a step over to beat someone, and fine, but you know as a defender, if you're facing me, I've got the ball. And when I was younger, I know if I knock the ball past you, you can't catch me. So what you do, you bring me down, you get a yellow card, I get past you, you might get a penalty, a free kick in a dangerous position. Power, being raw, aggressive in how you run is everything. So I was saying football is actually a simple game where you can go around I was on the beach in Ibiza 2 weeks home. I seen two kids, and I think it must be in the granddad, kicking the ball to each other on the beach, and the granddad was unbelievable. Like, technically, I was watching, I was thinking, he's unbelievable. So many people in this world can control the ball, can pass the ball, technically can be really good. But then it's what's inside you.
Are you willing to run? Are you willing to hurt? Is it willing to let
it's
it
what
hurt?
is inside you. And
Can you see that in him? Can you see that ability
Yeah.
to be powerful, to run over people and have that bit of nastiness that you had?
he comes home, he cooks for himself. He's fluent in Spanish. He comes in, he goes in the gym, gets his program, goes in the gym at home, goes to train, absolutely loves it. So over the last 6 months, I've started to see me in him as a player.
Oh, nice.
But left-footed, so hopefully.
Is it a hindrance that you're his dad though, or not?
He doesn't care about it.
That's the important thing, isn't it? It's what he thinks.
We went to games when Ronaldo come back to us. Ronaldo's lad, my lad, and Michael Carrick's lad were on the same team. And you go, there's
Imagine rocking up to that. You lot
crowds
standing
around the pitch, and Kai has never bothered about it. He's on his journey, it's not my journey.
I think the hardest thing is though, I think is that what I've found, which I'm sure you probably would agree with, is up to now you're saying you can see it, but there's a period, or maybe other kids, where you're going, how do I create the hunger in these kids? Because they're so privileged.
Yeah, it's
Well,
there's no
fortunate.
right or wrong answers then. I've got obviously 4 boys, and they're all different and in different ways, and you can't give someone
Hunger. Yeah.
desire. You can't, it has to be in them, and if it's not, then you may as well stop playing. Desire and hunger that's football.
And you want to see it. Innit?
That's
You wanna
football, that's entertainment.
Yeah.
People talk about entertainment, and you go in NFL or basketball or rugby. All the best clips now with social media is when people come to me in my career. All the trophies I've won, goals I've scored. The amount of people who come to me and say, that goal when you ran back and tackled the defender, and all of them was run. And the forward messed up because he should have passed it. And I was waiting, I was thinking, please have one more touch. All I done was run, tackle, go forward and put a long ball in the box. And the amount of people who come to me and say, that was unbelievable. And that's desire, that's hunger, that's passion. And if you've got that, you've got a chance. Obviously, ability and technically, that's all stuff you can work on and improve. I don't think you can work on.
It's hard to run though, isn't it? It's hard. It takes effort, it takes pain.
Yeah, I've seen you walking in some mornings, mate.
So walking there, my back.
Like, he's never going to play a game of football ever again in his life. And I've been lucky that I can actually move and function still. A little bit heavier, but I can
Yeah, you're lucky, man.
move. Knees are fine, ankles, joints. So I've been lucky, but running it's horrible. I hate it. Absolutely hate it. But if you put a ball there, I can do it all day.
Listen, Wazza, thank you very much. Appreciate your time, man. Top man,
See you,
as always. Take care, man.